Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Now that my two obligatory informative videos are done for the day, it's time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. And someone has awared me on my Facebook fan page that none other than Dr. Layne Norton. You got to make sure you call him doctor. It's important. For those who don't know, Layne has a PhD, right? He does. For anyone who wasn't aware, he does in fact have a PhD, aka Layne Nordstrom. And by the way, people say, why are you calling him that? That's not cool. He actually paid lawyers to put in a legal document that his name is in fact Layne Nordstrom, that that's one of his aliases. It's in a legal document that he paid for. So that's not even subject to debate to anyone who doesn't like that. It's like, no. He paid money to make sure that that is known as his alias. I made sure that one stuck. But apparently, he made a video discussing the top 5 fitness social media people to follow, and he didn't include me. What? I'm a little bit offended. Let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. You know, I'm actually shocked. You know, after all the attention Layne has given me over the years, given me all this attention, made a 33-minute long video about me, admitted in a podcast that he spent well into 6 figures. Let me say that again. He said in a podcast he spent well into 6 figures harassing me. You know, that he is my arch nemesis. You know, by the way, guys, again, I've got my Superman shirt on for a reason, because I am a superhero. I have an evil doctor who shares my birthday. We're both born on December 15th, right? I have an evil doctor who shares a birthday with me who is my arch nemesis. That pretty much makes me a superhero, guys. Makes me a superhero. Now, people say, what do you mean evil? How could you say he's evil? Well, I mean, look at all this branched chain amino acid stuff. But set that aside. I mean, you got a man who had a pregnant wife with a special needs toddler at home and cheated on her with a bikini babe. All right? Let that sink in. Now, you want to talk about ethics. You want to talk about ethical behavior. And this went public, guys. This isn't private life when she goes public about it. And his ex-wife did go public about it. The man cheated on his pregnant wife, who was also raising his special needs toddler with a bikini babe, with a bikini competitor. Had an affair with her. And then left his wife for the bikini competitor, who he also is propped up, who had a fake PhD. She claimed to have a PhD publicly, and turned out she didn't. She'd actually put on her media sites and everything PhD, and it turned out she didn't have a PhD. She has a master's degree, not a PhD. All right, that's actually fraud. So this is the sort of person he cheats with. He is the evil doctor. I mean, let's just be realistic here. Objectively speaking, by most people's moral standards, that's pretty far up there. Pretty far up there. So I do in fact have an evil doctor as an arch nemesis. But you know, he didn't mention me, and it kind of hurts my feelings a little bit. Hurts my feelings a little bit. But you know what? I'm willing to bury the hatchet here. I mean, honestly, I don't want to fight with Layne. I don't really need enemies at this point. You know, so I guess what I would say to Layne, man, I'm willing to forgive and forget. I know he said in the video, he's like, Layne, why you being so negative? Why you being so negative? I'm not going to be negative, man. You know what? I'm willing to forgive and forget. You know what? I'm a little disappointed in you, Layne, that you didn't give me at least an honorable mention. You mentioned all these other people. You didn't even give me an honorable mention. And I know we have some history, but man, there comes a certain point where you got to just kiss and make up. You know, sometimes you got to just kiss and make up with your enemies. And I'll bury the hatchet with Layne. You know, I really don't. I don't want to fight with Layne. I don't want to be a dick to him. There's just no point. I mean, this guy's destroyed his own life himself on his own. You know, granted, he's put in a lot of work trying to destroy mine, but I'm still here. I'm still upright and taking on air, still making a good living. You know, all things considered, I mean, you know, he worked really, really hard at destroying my life. He really did. But I'm still here, and, you know, he's destroyed his own. I mean, I don't need to get revenge on somebody like that. But I do wish that he had mentioned me. Although, again, I will point out that, man, it was really low class. To go through and list all these people Interestingly enough, mostly people he has business interactions with. He has some sort of financial ties, often in one way or another. Like Sophie Lee, like has she done anything other than I don't even know who she is, other than she wrote a book with him on reverse dieting, and most experts know reverse dieting's bullshit. It's a hustle, and they charged $90 for an ebook together. Whew, $90, damn. I mean, an ebook worth $90 that teaches you how to increase your calories every week. Um, yeah. And an interesting thing, though, out of all these evidence-based guys that he did list, are any of them other than Brett Contreras big or strong? I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I like Dr. Brad, but let's be realistic here. I mean, for a guy who's known as Dr. Gaines, does all this research on gains, and does all these studies that show that size and strength are correlated. Why doesn't he get strong then? I've never understood that about Brad. Brad, just get strong. Why are you so afraid of getting strong? He's almost afraid of it in the research. Get strong, brother. Get strong, brother. So what, you're a little bit older, middle-aged guy, doesn't mean you can't squat 500 pounds. Right? You can squat 500 pounds as a middle-aged guy. Get your strength up. Put on a little bit of size, Brad. It would be good. Um, but outside of the glute guy, I don't know. None of these guys are really big or strong, and it's kind of this issue we run into in the industry, isn't it? That a lot of people put out good information, but they don't always know how to apply it. And when I mean they don't apply it, they can't even always apply it in others. They don't know how to gain size or strength themselves. Um, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't mean their information isn't good, but it's just an observation I have noticed as a tendency in the evidence-based community. Most of the guys in the evidence-based community, they are getting crushed by the bros, and I don't know. I don't think it's a good look. I don't think it's a good look. I think a lot of them should work on getting bigger and stronger, and I'll give Brett that. Brett's done a good job of that. Brett Contreras has out of that list. Um, I'm not saying he's the biggest or the strongest guy out there, but he clearly actually trains. He actually does train and does train seriously, and I think that's very obvious. But a lot of the other guys really don't. So it's always one of the things that troubles me. I know I'm getting sidetracked there. It's just something that always troubles me with some of this stuff in the evidence-based community that I would suggest that maybe they work on, man. Get your squats up to 500. You know, um, Put a little bit of muscle on. Do some training. At a certain point, you got to take a break from the lectures and research to actually get under a barbell. It would be useful. It'd be a good idea. But the thing that bothered me though is that he threw Holly Baxter back in there and recommended her again. It's like, man, that's I don't know. What can I say? I mean, again, you look at someone like her, someone like Layne at this point. You look at the ethics of the stuff they've pulled. I mean, the guy basically. I mean, listen, a lot of people feel he was justified in trying to destroy me. I mean, if you feel that way, that's your own prerogative. I'm gonna respectfully disagree. But that aside, you look at stuff like again the $90 reverse dieting ebook. Come on, with the Sophie Lee chick. I don't know if he. I'll leave that one alone because I don't have any evidence. We know that he had a mistress with Holly Baxter. Um, not even going to imply anything there. Uh, you look at that though, and it's just I don't know. This is a guy who crucified me over his ethics. That he had to have an ethical reputation as a good guy, and then he runs around and cheats on his pregnant wife, who's pregnant and raising his special needs toddler, um, and always used them as a shield. He used them as a shield. Like he came after me, claiming it was to protect them. It's like, for fuck's sake, Layne. Um, Pulled the same stuff with Lyle McDonald. He hid behind his wife and children as a shield, to for all this criticism and to protect them, and then he goes and behaves like that, right? The very people he's using as a shield, he goes and betrays them with some bikini chick with a fake PhD, which also cost him one of his other companies as well when he tried to put her in it when they don't want her there because of her reputation. I mean, it cost him one of his companies because the board and the other people said, no, we don't think so. We need to get you out of here. So again, not very ethical, is he? Not very ethical at all. But he sure spent a lot of money trying to defend his name and attack me. I don't know. It is what it is, though. But, you know, it would have been cool if he could have put me on that list or at least given me an honorable mention because I have clearly been a big influence in his life. I'm clearly a very, very, very important person to Layne, and my social media is. I mean, he spent more money related to my social media than anybody else in the entire world. He could have at least given me an honorable mention. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.